Hi there, Mr. Sutton here, bringing you the IM3 Honors 4-6 Part 1 homework solutions on quadratic inequalities.
To graph this quadratic inequality, let's start by getting the vertex. So negative b over 2a will give us the x value of that vertex. That's going to be negative 2 over 2 times, this is a negative 1 for the a value. So we have 2 over negative 2, which is negative 1. That's our axis of symmetry. To get the y value, let's plug that back into the original expression. So we have negative 1 squared minus 2 times negative 1 plus 3. So this is going to be negative 1 plus 2, which is 1, plus 3, which is 4. So negative 1 comma 4 is our vertex. Now when we graph out this vertex, since we have the equals under the inequality, we're going to use a solid dot. So at negative 1 comma 4 right up here, solid dot for the vertex. And let's also get two other points. I'll use the y-intercept for one of them. So that's going to be this constant right here, this plus 3. So 0 comma 3 is our y-intercept. Another solid dot over there. And then let's use symmetry to get another dot on the other side of the vertex, the same distance away from the axis of symmetry. And a solid line to go through those solid dots. So there's our border of the inequality. Now looking at the direction of the inequality, we have y greater than. That means we're shading everything above the parabola, like so. To graph this quadratic inequality, let's start by getting the vertex. So we can find the x value of the vertex with negative b over 2a, and we'll use that because this is in standard form here. So our b value is going to be 6, so we have negative 6. Over 2 times the a value, 3. So that's negative 6 over 6, which is negative 1. Plugging that back into the expression to find the y value, we have 3 times negative 1 squared, which is just going to be 3. This is minus 6 from that, so that's going to be negative 3 so far. Plus 4 is going to give us 1 for the total there. So our vertex will have negative 1 comma 1. Now graphing this out, since my inequality does not have any equals in it, this is going to be an open dot and a dashed line. So at negative 1 comma 1 right there, open dot. And we'll also graph out the vertex to get another, or the y-intercept to get another point. So that's this 4 constant out here, 0 comma 4 as a point. So our y-intercept then, right there. And then using symmetry to get the other point on the other side of the axis of symmetry, right here, gives us our 3 points to graph our parabola. Let's use a dashed line to go through those open dots. And now looking at our inequality, it says y is less than the parabola. So we're going to shade everything underneath the parabola. So all this stuff down here. To graph this quadratic inequality, let's start by getting the vertex with x equals negative b over 2a. That'll give us the axis of symmetry. So that's going to be negative 2 for the b value there. And then we have 2 times the a value 1, invisible 1, next to the x squared. So that's positive 2 over 2, which is just 1. Now to get the y value, let's plug this back into the expression here. So we have 1 squared, which is 1, minus 2 times 1, so 1 minus 2 is negative 1 so far. Plus 5 gives us a total of 4. So that's a vertex of 1 comma 4. Since there's an equals here under the inequality, that means we're using solid dots and a solid line. So at 1 comma 4 right here, we have a solid dot. And now to get some other points, I'm going to use the y-intercept. That's this constant at the end here, 5. So 0, 5 is our y-intercept. And that's right here. And then we'll use symmetry to get another point on the other side of the vertex. Solid line through the solid dots. Since my inequality is greater than, I'm shading everything above that line. So that's all this stuff up here. And we're done. To graph this inequality, let's start by getting the vertex. So let me use x equals negative b over 2a to get the x value of the vertex. So we've got negative 4 for that b value over 2 times the a value, negative 1 right here. So that's positive 4 over negative 2, which comes out to negative 2. And plugging negative 2 back into the expression will give us the y value that goes with that x value. So negative 2 squared, that's going to be 4, but we have a negative out in front, so negative 4. This is a plus 8. Negative 4 plus 8 gives us 4 so far. And then 4 minus 6 gives us negative 2 for the y value. So our vertex then is negative 2 comma negative 2. Now, since my inequality has no equals, we're going to be using open dots and a dashed line. So we've got negative 2 right here, open dot there for the vertex. And now let me graph out the y-intercept and use some symmetry to get another point. This negative 6 is going to be our y-intercept, that constant out there. So 0 comma negative 6 is the actual point. So down here on the y-axis at negative 6, another solid, or open dot rather. And then to get a third dot, we're going to use symmetry. The axis of symmetry goes through the vertex here. So if I'm 2 to the right to get that y-intercept, I have to go 2 to the left at the same height, and that gives me another point right there. Let me use a dashed line to go through those open dots. And now, in terms of which side I have to shade, the inequality is less than, lower than, so that means I shade all the y values underneath this parabola, like so.